Hello, Hachi. Hello again. Hello again. Ooh, it's good to be back. Again, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I wasn't able to stream again yesterday. Uh, I was really busy. Had a lot of stuff going on yesterday, and I had to take care of my little cousins. Oh my gosh, they're really sweet, but oh man, they were working me to the bone. Like, oh my god. So we have this like disc swing in the backyard, and they just wanted to ride on that swing nonstop. And so of course, like, poor poor me, like every 10 seconds they were like, BBB, come over, come push us really high. And like it was a bit of a struggle for me because I I don't have upper body strength, like, of any kind whatsoever. And also they kept asking me like, oh, push higher, push us up high. And it's like, I can't push you that high. Like, even if I got them like all the way over my head, they're not gonna go that high. uh it was very stressful for me, but you know, they had fun, so that's all that matters. And then eventually, finally, I got them to go inside and just sit down and relax for a little while. So, whew, yeah, I'm happy that I survived with both of my arms still intact. But anyways, we have some designs to talk about, to discuss. I gotta boop, 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 boop. Okay. So as you may or may not already know, I did all the designing and illustrating and stuff for all of our models. So I thought that I might go into some detail on how I made them the way they are. However, there's one thing, actually a few things I want to share. It's a little bit of a secret, so shh, don't tell anyone. Just come here, come close, come here. I gotta tell you, it's a secret. These models are 2 years old. Shh! Don't tell anyone I said that. It's so, like, you might not know, but over time your art changes. So I want you all to know that, like, so I started working on these characters in like 2020, and I started like illustrating them in 2021 to 2022. So yeah, they're about 2 years old at this point. But like, I just want to say that, like, our current models, they are not like a proper demonstration of my current artistic ability. But you know, like, they're not the worst. I don't like saying that I've seen worse models because I don't like to insult other artists, you know. Everybody's just doing their best out here, you know. But, you know, ours aren't like, some people are just dramatic. Like, it's not the end of the world. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. But we'll talk about more of that stuff when we have our group collab. I can't tell you much about it yet, but yeah. So I guess I'll move into talking about like our general concept. So with Introverse, like, originally I wasn't even gonna like give our generation a name. Kind of just added it at the end just for like brand recognition. I don't know. like I really was just gonna call everyone like, you know, Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, you know, so on and so forth. But I felt like Introverse, it would be pretty it would be a good name for us, you know. It'll make sense. That's a lot of what I have to say in regards to like our character concepts and everything. Just bear with me. It'll all make sense eventually. But so little fun fact, BBB was actually not my very first my very first concept. I had one before when I was like just starting to get into VTubers. Like I was into VTubers like back in the Kizuna Ai day. I was a really big fan of like Kaguya Luna. Rest in peace. I shouldn't say it like that. She's not dead. But you know what I mean. But like I was a fan of VTubers back then, but it wasn't really what it is today, you know? So I never really had like any sort of motivation to ever become a VTuber, because I just thought, oh, this is just like some like niche Japanese thing that only like big companies do. So, and now here I am. I was really actually wanting like a long time ago to join like Hololive or something. That's why I came up with that character. But then I found out that you couldn't make your own character. So, you know, after that, like, I have always been the kind of person to, like, come up with my own OCs and things like that. Like, essentially ever since I was able to speak, I was coming up with new characters, you know? Like, every TV show I watched, I would like come up with an OC for that universe. I was just a really creative kid. But we don't need to talk about that character. It's fine. Let's talk more about us, the ones that are important. Let me move myself over a little bit. All right. So, so I came up with a lot of these characters. I don't know if I said it before, but I came up with a lot of these characters while I was still in school. So if you see some like math to the side of the doodles, that is why, because I would doodle in class like a lot when I probably shouldn't have. But you know, it doesn't matter now. Like it doesn't matter if I wasn't paying attention. It's fine. It's fine. But like I said, it's not important right now. But so like I said, a lot of these are like just really fast doodles that I did in class. So if they're not really like that good, like I promise you this is not the kind of art that I was like doing for art class or like anything important. They were literally just doodles. So yeah, let's just start. My very first illustration of BBB is actually lost to time. I doodled like a little chibi head on one of my old worksheets, but I have since lost that, unfortunately. So instead, this will be the very first illustration I ever did of BBB. So let me get started with the name. Originally, I wanted to have. I'm gonna say originally like a billion times, so don't get tired of hearing it, okay? But so I came up with BBB because like obviously it's B 3 times, you know, but I don't really know. Like I don't have a science of how I come up with characters. Like they just like kind of come into my head. And then, boom, new character. That's how most of them start out. And Hachi, in Japanese means bee, and Hachimarisu is sort of a play on words of Hachimitsu, which means honey, because I'm a honeybee, so it makes sense, right? Right. I also back like way back in the day, like before we even had like the name Sunrise Galaxia, like a little extra lore about the company. I was originally gonna call it like Virtual Mirai or something like basic like that, but I was like, no, that is too boring of a name. So I changed it to Sunrise Galaxia, and I think that's a lot more unique of a name, you know. And it's got a lot better theming in my opinion. Like, what could I do with Virtual Mirai that hasn't already been done by other like virtual like insert name agencies, right? No hate. But very the very first concept that I had for BBB, I actually came up with her and Meguro first. They were my very first two concepts. So I wanted the first generation to be like food themed. So there was me, who was honey, you know, and Meguro, who was obviously sushi. But we'll get more into her design later. And we were also gonna have a third character, which has since been scrapped, who was like a cowgirl, but not a cowgirl like the yeehaw sort of cowgirl, but like, you know, like a cow girl, like, you know, with like cow ears and everything. So she was gonna be like beef, you know. But I ended up scrapping that sort of concept when I came up with everybody else. And I've since developed the lore a lot more. But yeah, so also so VVV's original design was going to be a lot more like insect inspired. It was a lot closer to the actual honeybee animal. I don't know if I'm gonna post it on Twitter. I don't know, maybe. We'll see. But so I was gonna have like black hair, and my fuzzy shirt was always gonna be there because, you know, bees are very fuzzy. But I was also planning to have like 4 arms, you know, because insects have 6 limbs. So I was gonna kind of do like a, oh man, what's the one moth girl's name? Juniper something? I forget her name. But like the white and green moth girl, I forget her name. I'm so sorry. I'm super bad with names. But it was gonna be like kind of like her, how she has her 4 arms. But you know, I thought about it more, and I I decided it was a little bit too out there of a concept for our very first generation. So I scaled it back. I gave myself blonde hair so that it would be more recognizable as a bee. I also have this cute little skirt in this design. I don't know where that came from. I think it was supposed to be like sort of see-through with like honey, you know? Um, oh yeah, also, some very important fact about my design. I don't wear gloves. Nah, these are not gloves on my. Oh, I'm behind the chat. Oops. These are not gloves on my arms. That's just how my arms look. So bees, we have our limbs are all sticky. We got like sticky little hair things, and that's how like pollen will stick to us, so we can pollinate flowers. Fun little bee fact. So, you know, please do not draw me with like skin colored arms. Trust me, that is not what it looks like with my arm off. That is my skin. So yeah, that's just a little extra fact. I also used to have my wings like actually attached to my body. I don't know where that went. Like, and here I think this one This one's like a beta like idol design. Early idol outfit. I don't know. I don't know. But I don't know why I decided to make my wings not attached to my body. I guess maybe to like see them better. I don't know. I also don't know why they're so jiggly. I don't know why I did it that way. I don't know. Do you guys like the wing jiggles? I feel like it's just weird because like our wings, if they were like feathered wings, it would make more sense, but I don't know. If you guys think it's cute, then I guess I'll keep it. I mean, it's not like I can do much now, you know, but anyways, I was actually gonna be like way shorter. Like if you thought that I was short now, I would be way shorter. Here's like my first like digital illustration. Yeah, don't mind the wonky anatomy for these ones. Like I said, I was still in school when I made these, so not up to my current artistic talents. But so I think my concept originally was gonna be more like fairy like. Like I was gonna be more the size of an actual bee, you know? So I was gonna be kinda like Tinkerbell almost. It's like really, really tiny, like a fairy almost. But then I got to thinking that like when I do like group collabs and like eventual 3D stuff, it'll be kind of weird to have like a little teeny tiny fairy next to like normal sized everybody else. So yeah, I kind of scrapped that idea. So for all future like animal concepts, they're gonna be like relatively the size of their real life animal counterparts, just like with more human attributes, I guess. So yeah, now that leads us into today. You can kind of see how the design has changed from this earlier design and how it's sort of similar. Like I have a lot more stripes on my socks, and also my bangs. They went from like short on the outside to long on the inside, as opposed to today where they're long on the outside and short on the inside. But like overall, like my concept from this illustration at least, this was like a final version, like a final turnaround before I actually made the models. Which, speaking of the models, you might be wondering like why the quality is the way that it is. Uh, I gotta tell you, it's a bit of a story. So when I was illustrating these models, I was using a program called Procreate. And Procreate, don't get me wrong, it's a great application. It's really good. I would highly recommend it, especially for like beginner artists. However, it is not the best for making VTuber models. So, for those of you who don't know, with Procreate, you can either have like a really big, good quality canvas, but have very few layers, or you can have a much smaller, less quality canvas, but with a lot of layers. And for live 2D models, you have to have everything in a separate layer. And I mean everything. Like every single eyelash that I have is its own layer. So I had to sacrifice a bit of the quality in order to have in order to like actually make the assets that I needed. But yeah, so that was my issue. I have since I have since like I wouldn't say stopped using it. I still do use it, just not for live 2D models. It will not be my main form of making live 2D models anymore. Again, it's a really good program, just not for live 2D. Yeah. And so here's another like early concepts like idol outfits, and also Meguro in like a weird Hatsune Miku pose. Hatsushimi Meguro. I don't know. I don't know what my thought process behind making her in that pose was. Speaking of Meguro, here we go. Um, okay, so the thing about Procreate with Photoshop is I don't have Photoshop, so I do not know. So Meguro, her design was it was based on an even older design that I had made where it was like a sushi mermaid. So it was like it was there was like a girl on top of rice that was like a mermaid, but like her hair and her tail were made out of it was actually salmon, but you know, similar concept really. So for this design, I guess I gave her like more like bangs instead of like the curl sort of thing. I don't know. Yeah, it's very limited Procreate is. So I have since stopped using it for Live 2D. Uh, I don't have a lot of illustrations. The only reason why I have more illustrations of myself is because I'm the guinea pig. I'm the guinea pig for everything. Like, and whenever I think of like a cute concept, like idol outfits, for example, I always draw like myself first just to see how good it would be for everybody else, and then if it's good or not, then I'll do it for everybody else. um, but yeah, so eventually I kind of I changed up the concept and made her more of like a human. So her skin is made of rice, her hair is made of sushi, her organs are I don't know. I didn't think that far ahead. Yeah, hi Leah. Sorry, I didn't say hi earlier. I don't know what I was thinking. But yeah. I also had I kind of had the idea of her being kind of like tsundere. I don't know. And also, I gave her like really long eyelashes. I had a thing about like sharp eyelashes. I was really into sharp eyelashes for a time. But yeah, she wears a hoodie which is made out of hoodie, and her shoes that are nori. They're at least inspired by nori. I don't know if I ever decided whether or not they actually were nori, but I guess according to her, they are made of nori. So I guess they are. But yeah, her design also hadn't really it hasn't really changed. Hasn't changed that much, but I attribute that to it being a lot more simple. I really wanted her to have that silhouette of sushi. I also don't know why I made her eyes blue. I just kind of like them. I mean, sushi doesn't really have eyes, you know? So I kind of took some creative liberties. And then we have Griffin. So, first of all, I know a lot of you were surprised that he was a guy, huh? So, I gotta tell you, I love femboys. So I knew immediately that our first guy had to be femboy. Absolutely. So like his original concept, he wasn't necessarily going to be a prince, but like to me, like you see like vampire movies, and vampires are usually like they're very like high nobility sort of thing, you know? So I wanted him to be like at least like some kind of aristocrat, you know? So that's why his design, it doesn't like totally read as like a prince, but more like an upper class person. I don't know. He also wasn't going to exactly be a demon. He was just going to be a vampire. But over time, as like I workshopped the character more, I was like, yeah, sure, demon prince, sure. So here's his old like turnaround. As you can see, it's a lot more accurate to what it looks like now. I really liked the like spider web mesh. I wanted it to have sort of like a kind of Halloween aesthetic to it, like kind of Adam's Family ish almost. But I also really wanted him to have like a goth Lolita style because I love goth Lolita. It's one of my favorites. One of my favorite like fashion styles. So I based his dress on like an actual real life dress that I had seen. If I find the image, I might post it, but I don't know. Also, he has earrings. They're somewhat based on Dio from JoJo. How he has like the three like, well, I guess for Dio they're not actually earrings, but he's got like the three like dots on his ears. Except this time they're like actually earrings. So he's got like one like looped earring and then two other like smaller studs. But yeah, so not much has changed about him. I also really wanted him to have that like eye color change just to like bring in the fact that he is indeed a demon. But I struggled so much with the hair. Like I hated drawing his hair for a time. I was like, ugh, I don't know how to style it. Like I for sure wanted it to be like kind of curly in the back, but I didn't know what to do with like the bangs or like anything else. I kind of wanted it to be like how do you call it? Like where it's like short in the back but long in the front. I forget what that style is called, but I kind of wanted it to be like that. But his hair is definitely like kind of curly in the back. And now we move on to Blythe. So I am including Blythe because she's part of Introverse. So a while back, I did want her to be like more of like a traditional Oni. That's why she has, instead of like the sort of like pigtail, I guess, style that her hair is in, it's more of like a bun. So I wanted her to be like a more traditional, like East Asian fashion sense kind of Oni. But she was always gonna be an Oni. So here's more of like the with more of the Decora style. Like her design is based very heavily on Decora fashion. That's why her color palette is literally all over the place, because if you have seen Decora fashion, their colors are all over the place. They're super eye bleeding. If anything, I toned it down. It could have been way crazier, but I was like, I don't want it to be too much, even though Decora fashion is all about being too much. And I really got the idea to make her more Decora from this J fashion trend. I think it's called Ishoku Hara, I think. Yeah. Yeah, Ishoku Hara, which is like, it means unique or remarkable skin. So it's where people will like paint their skin to be like all kinds of crazy colors. Like there's some people who paint their skin like green or blue or red. And so I saw a picture of somebody who was like a red Oni. She had like, her skin was all red and she had these big red horns and black hair, but she had more of like a goth style. And I thought, because I'm also a really big fan of like doll customization, and there's a doll YouTuber by the name of Delightful, and she makes a lot of like Decora style and like fancy rainbow dolls. So I got a lot of inspiration from that, and I just was like, what if Oni, like a red Oni, but Decora, and she's pink. So the reason why she is pink is because Onis, at least in my lore, Onis, as they age, their skin gets darker. So like as she'll grow, her skin will get more red. But for now, it's pink. I actually kind of want to make it like a bit of a darker pink because I feel like this would be like a lot younger. So yeah, like her design, her design hadn't really changed too terribly much. I hated rigging her jacket. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. I don't even want to get into it. It was such a nightmare. I hated it. Me and this jacket, we were not friends. We were not friends at all. But she was honestly one of my favorites to draw, just because of all the colors. Like I like to color stuff a lot. So yeah, like she's very colorful, very bright, and very sparkly. I just wanted to incorporate as much of like pictures of the fashion into the design as I could without it being like too much, you know? Like seriously, do me a favor, just look up Decora fashion. You'll see what I mean. Like they're crazy. If anything, like this is tame. You do not want to see what she would look like if I went full Decora. Maybe one day, maybe in the future. Also, she does have a tooth necklace. I don't know if in her debut she'll mention it, but just in case. So, it's kind of a Oni tradition as you mature. So, like, you know how people have like baby teeth and they fall out and then adult teeth grow in? Onis have that, but by two. So they have like baby teeth and then adolescent teeth, and so like instead of giving your teeth to the tooth fairy, you turn it into a necklace to show how much you've grown. It's kind of weird, but it's also cute, so I like it. I thought it would be a nice way to like also incorporate some of the more like traditional oni, because like traditional onis are like scary and everything. Like in Japanese mythology, they like they eat people. So she doesn't eat people, that's for sure. She eats normal things like anybody else. She's just very tall and has horns. She's bigger than the average person. That's all. All right, and now we move on to Leah, which I struggled the most with Leah. Oh yeah, one more thing I meant to add about Blythe. Her name actually comes from a brand of dolls called Blythe dolls. They're kind of weird looking, but they used to have them with like Littlest Pet Shops. But yeah, they were sort of fashion dolls. They would go with like the Littlest Pet Shops, but they have them now just like as their own thing, separate from Littlest Pet Shop. But yeah, that's where I got her name. She was always sort of doll inspired. So now we move on to Leah, who I had like one of the hardest times designing. Like I liked the idea of her being a mech pilot, but I just didn't really know how to design her. Like I've seen a couple of mecha anime, like I've seen Evangelion and Gurren Lagann, but like I really didn't know how to design like her suit and everything. So in this, she kind of has like gloves and more of like a weird pattern. Like I wanted her to sort of have like a sort of motif to Evangelion, like, but I didn't want her to just be like in a recolored plug suit, you know? I wanted it to be more unique and have its own thing. So it just took me a while to really figure out like what I wanted her character to be like. This drawing does not do her much favors. I just didn't really know how to design her properly. So yeah, here's here's a much better looking image than the last one. So by this point, I had sort of more. I had a more comprehensive design. I don't know why I gave her lipstick. I think it's because like I wanted her to be like a more like mature character, kind of like an One-san sort of type. But that evolved. Now she's like more of like a an aneki, I would say. There's a difference between an onesan and an aneki, you know? Anekis are more like real life sisters. I think, at least. But the little like circles on her arms and legs, those are to me they're like joints so that she can move her elbows and her wrists and everything. So that just it allows for more movement. Because I wanted her suit to be more like metal, like a lot more metallic. So she's probably like ripped underneath there. Maybe I'll do a drawing of her with like the big muscle. um, and her, as you can see, like her whole like vibe has changed a lot. Also, the little strand that's kind of like loose from her hair, you can see it in both of these. That was supposed to be there. What happened? It's kind of a funny story. What happened was that when I was drawing her model, I sort of forgot it. I forgot it until I was like done with it, and I looked back at the old reference material, and I was like, crap. I totally forgot about this little hair strand. So, yeah. I had to I tried to add it into the model, but it was too late, and it wouldn't join in with the rest of the art mesh, so I was like, you know what? Forget it. But it's okay. I still think that she looks really cute with or without it. I also gave her a beauty mark because I wanted her to have like a charm point, I guess. I guess her charm point is that she's actually like the only human of our gen, but you know. Also, the symbol on her shoulders, that is the official symbol of the robotic armed forces. That's the government wing, I guess, the military wing, I guess, that she's a part of. And it's meant to represent like a scarab beetle. I made it this way because in Egyptian mythology, the scarab beetle is like it represents like the rising sun, like the sunrise. Get it? Do you get it? Get the joke? Smart. And I also sized down the like joint parts a lot more. I thought they were a bit bulky in this, so I made them a lot smaller. And by the way, for those of you who are concerned that she's like the only person, she's the only model that has like dark skin. Number one, I agree. There should be more people of color VTubers, especially in like in agencies. Not to hate. I'm not calling anybody out, but like you just don't see it that much. And I wanted to change that. That's like part of the reason why I designed her this way, was because I would look through other agencies' lineup, and very rarely, very rarely do you see people with like darker skin tones. And English is such like a broad language. Like there's so many different kinds of people who speak English, and I want to represent that with all my designs. So I promise you, she will not be the last. I have a lot of designs planned. I can't tell you much now because it's kind of a secret, but I can promise you that she's not going to be the last. I really want to have a very broad amount of characters, like not just of like different ethnicities, but just like different things that you just don't see very often in VTuber designs. I want us to be unique, so that you're like, wow, these VTubers are so much different than all the other agencies. That's how you get yourself out there, you know? You gotta be different. But yeah, with Gen 1, I wanted us to be more diverse in like our species types. So we've got me and Leah, who are animals. We're both humans, are a part of the animal kingdom. So in a way, we are technically both quote unquote animals. And then we got the demons with Griffin, and then we got Meguro and Blythe that are neither. So I have I say Blythe is neither. She's not really a demon, and she's also not really an animal. She's an Oni. Onis are like ogres, you know? Would you say that Shrek is a demon? I wouldn't. He's an angel, if anything. But yeah, and like obviously Meguro is made of food, so she's not really a human or animal or demon. Just kind of in the middle. Like there's like, it's like a spectrum, you know? You got one side, and then you got the other side, and then you got everything else in the middle. So yeah, those are my all of the designs that I have made so far. Like I said, we'll have more in the future, but for now, that is it. Whew, that's a lot of explaining. Oh, I also forgot to mention about Leah's name. I named her, that's true, Shrek is, well, he's not an onion, he's like an onion, you know? But about Leah's name, her name, the name Leah is actually based on a girl that I knew in my dance classes. I thought that she was really pretty, and she was a really good dancer, and I liked her a lot, and I wanted to be her friend, but I was just too shy. We talked a few times, and it was very pleasant. She was really nice. So I wanted to pay tribute. And then Makana, as you may or may not have seen in her lore video, her real name is blocked out. They usually, like, once they graduate from the special agent school, they kind of keep your real name a secret. In my lore, at least. I don't know if Leah will ever reveal her true name, but you know, that's up to her. Ah, man, that was so much explaining. Oh, I'm so tired. I'm so tired from all that explaining and all the pushing of little kids on a swing I had to do the other day. Really wore me out. I love those kids, but man, oh man, I am not built for that kind of endurance. I guess I gotta work out more so I can push children on a swing more. Oh man, and thankfully my cats today, they were very good. You were very good, Mr. Cat. Thank you for not getting up and clawing at the door and screaming at me. Whew. Sorry, I have to catch my breath. I'm glad that you all enjoyed it. I'm glad you all enjoyed hearing me ramble about the lore. I have so much lore, so many like little bits and pieces that like I want to share, but so much of it I can't tell you yet. It's a secret. But you'll see eventually. But I kind of want to make just like a lore Bible, because there's a lot of just like really small things that I can't really see come up in like regular streaming. You know, like Blythe's necklace. I don't know when she would ever have time to tell you that it's like a Oni tradition. I don't know. And there's even more stuff like like stuff about bees that and like bee culture that I could tell you, but like I don't know. I don't know when is a good time. When is a good time to bring it up? So I do plan to eventually, like, as time goes on, probably once we like at least have a couple more generations, like maybe I don't know. Probably not next gen, but it's a bit too early to talk about the next generation, which I also can't share much about. I will tell you this though. Gen 2, I plan for it to be there will be more guys in the next gen. But we'll cross that bridge when it happens. For right now, I wanna focus on Entroverse. I wanna give each generation like their own time to breathe. You know, this isn't Niji Sanji. No hate, no hate, no hate. It's just, man, they have a lot of VTubers. But yeah, so maybe Lore Bible eventually. I don't know when. Maybe it'll be like a series. We'll have different books like Gravity Falls. Oh, that would be so much fun. Have like journals like in Gravity Falls, and when you put them together, it makes it like a big secret thing. That would be fun, actually. Ooh, I'm brainstorming now. Gotta write that down. So yeah, I think I don't know why I always get winded towards the end of my stream. Maybe I need to bring some like water or like one of those like air tanks that like old people use. Just every couple seconds be like, hold on guys. Okay, I'm back. Something like that. But yeah, I have so much more stuff that I want to share with you all. We've all gotta be patient. That's it. So yeah, thank you all for your continued support of Entroverse and Sunrise Galaxia. I appreciate it so much. I really cannot stress how happy I am with our success. Like I was so worried. Like my top 2 worries when I started out was that either A, I would get bullied off of the internet, or B, like all of our stuff would just fly right under the radar and nobody would ever know we existed. Those were my 2 fears. Like I cannot tell you just how stressed out I was the day before auditions were held. Oh, it was so bad. I could barely sleep because of the stress. But I'm okay now. I'm still stressed, but not about that. I'm really thankful for everybody who joined, and I'm really thankful for all of you. So, with that said, I will be off. I have a cat who is looking at me like he wants food right now, so I better go do something about that before he kills me. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day. Goodbye.